10 TV News at 11 begins with breaking news in East Columbus tonight. That's where police officers tell us they're investigating the 100th homicide in the city this year.
This all started around 9 tonight on East 5th Avenue near North James Road. 10 TV Cierra Johnson live at the scene with the latest from police. What they tell you, Cierra?
Yes, Jerry and Yolanda, they actually moved members of the media back away from 5th Avenue. And if you actually look in the distance, this is where they believe that scene played out. Detectives are on scene working to piece together exactly what led up to this shooting, which, as you mentioned, is the 100th homicide of this year. Now, this is still a very active investigation, but CPD did tell me a male body was found on 5th Avenue, half on the sidewalk, half on the street near the Ohio Packing Company building. We are not being given a name or an age of this victim because all of his family has not been notified. And police also do not have any suspects in custody, but detectives are investigating this homicide on the city's east side. Now, portions of 5th Avenue are closed heading north beginning at Cassidy Avenue as they have expanded the boundaries of this investigation. But again, the city's 100th homicide has taken place here on 5th Avenue. Still a very developing situation, but we will bring you the latest on 10tv.com. I'm live on the city's east side. Cierra Johnson, 10 TV News.
Thanks, Cierra. Continue to follow that active shooter investigation in Northeast Ohio this hour. Police say a gunman was reported in Barberton, causing a local high school and a road to be shut down. 10 TV's Cierra Johnson has arrived in Barberton with the details. Cierra.
Yes, Jerry, it was about 30 minutes ago that Norton police addressed members of the media. They were saying that they were grateful that their first responders were okay and also grateful that they were able to get 41-year-old David Michael Heverlich, the suspect, in custody. Now, police say it was around 7:30 that they received a call of a man in a storage unit holding an assault rifle. That storage unit was off of Barberton Road here in Summit County, Northeast Ohio. Norton police say when they arrived, Heverlich began shooting at police, and police then returned fire while calling for backup and SWAT. Now, they say once SWAT arrived, they did a sweep of the facility and found the suspect in the back of the property. That suspect was then taken to Akron General Hospital with gunshot-related injuries, and investigators are now tonight on scene combing the area for any additional clues.
He does have an extensive violent criminal background. Yes.
And yes, they touched on his extensive background, saying that there were domestic assault, domestic violence, and felonious assault charges. David Michael Heverlich is from the Akron area, and police do believe he acted alone. Now, police also talked a lot about the training they receive and how important repetition for instances like this is. They stress that at any given time, on any given day, any community could be susceptible to an active shooter situation like they experienced tonight. And again, the suspect has been taken into custody. He is currently at Akron General Hospital being checked out for some of those gunshot-related injuries he sustained during this ordeal. And thankfully, no one, including police officers here in Norton, as well as some of the surrounding areas, a school was shut down, as well as a supermarket and a restaurant. No one in the immediate area sustained any injuries from the situation. I am live in Norton, Ohio. Cierra Johnson, 10 TV News.
Thanks, Cierra. Cierra.
That's right. Big changes are headed to the Boy Scouts organization. I did speak with local Scout executive Jeff Moe, and he tells me this move comes after years of parents already part of the organization making requests of a way to incorporate other members of their family. So what does this change mean for local Scouts? Well, he tells me that under this new plan, which begins in 2018, individual groups or dens will be either all boys or all girls. Those collective dens or Scout packs will then have the option to stay single gender or welcome both boys and girls. And that Scout executive tells me the lessons of leadership and character and mental and physical fitness that are taught to the Boy Scouts will easily be transitioned to the co-ed program. Again, that program is slated to kick off in 2018. I'm live in Columbus. Cierra Johnson, 10 TV News.
Breaking news in Southeast Columbus. That's where a man is dead after gunfire erupts in a neighborhood.
It's happening in the 4900 block of Majestic Drive North, as you see on this map. 10 TV's Cierra Johnson live at the scene where police have just released the name of the victim. Cierra?
Yes, Sherry and Yolanda, they have actually asked members of the media to move back as they have expanded the scene of the shooting, which is being considered a homicide. Now, this investigation is ongoing, but we have learned the name of the victim. It's 37-year-old William M. Brown Jr. He was shot at a home here on the 4700 block of Majestic Avenue North, and he was pronounced dead at Grant Hospital at 9:20. We've also learned that there was a gas line that was hit in the midst of the shooting. The gas to that home was turned off. The individuals were asked to leave, but they have been invited back into their home. No one other than the victim was injured in this situation. Now, police have no suspects or no motives in the situation, but are working to piece together what happened in the moments before the shooting. And as you can see back at here live, still a very active shooting. There's several cones for a good portion of the curve of this road, marking those shell casings. And right to my left, they're actually knocking on doors, asking for anyone with any information to come forward. And if you don't live in this neighborhood and do have information, Columbus Police, as always, are asking you to contact them on their confidential tip line. Again, one man is dead here in Southeast Ohio. We will continue to bring you the latest both online and on air at 10tv.com. I'm live on the city's southeast side. Cierra Johnson, 10TV News.
Thanks, Cierra.
Cierra Johnson joins us live from Olentangy High School to tell us all about this. Cierra?
Yes, Jerry, Yolanda, and it's an exciting week here at Olentangy High School. That's because it's homecoming week here at the high school. And all is quiet now, but in just a matter of a few hours, these stands will be filled with fans watching the battle take place on the field. We're going to have a lot of Friday fun here on First and 10. Here's the schedule. First off, that battle in Olentangy, plus Liberty hosting Westerville South. Delaware is on the road against Dublin-Jerome. Bradley will make a trip to Bishop Watterson, and then there's the Battle of the Bishops. Hartley against Reedy, plus Whetstone on the road against Mifflin, and our chopper will have Harvest Prep at Bern Union, and we're heading to Southeast Ohio with Megs against Athens. Finally, Wellston at Nelsonville York, and Southern on the road against Trimble. We hope you join us tonight for First and 10. Again, all is quiet here, but just in a matter of hours, kickoff across Central Ohio will take place.
Cierra Johnson met with one of the organizers who says they'll stop at nothing to keep the team in Columbus.
Although the future of this team and of this stadium is unclear, organizers of the Save the Crew movement are hopeful the club's owners as well as the city will take notice of their efforts and work to keep the team here in Central Ohio.
It's just different. Soccer fandom is just, it's really engaging.
It didn't take long for the black and gold to capture the heart of Columbus native David Faust. Faust attended the Crew SC's inaugural season and has been a fan ever since. But news of owner Anthony Precourt possibly relocating the team to Austin in 2019 is a tough pill to swallow, both for him and many other supporters.
We're all just ready to put our heads down for this team and keep this team in Columbus.
Faust and a dozen others are hopeful a grassroots Save the Crew campaign will gain traction, both from the club's owners and the city of Columbus. The SaveTheCrew.com website, set up hours after the announcement, has been seen by thousands, and organizers are hoping a Save the Crew rally planned for noon Sunday will attract even more supporters.
We want to kind of help lead that public tone and set the tone that this city has support from all over the city. This team has support.
Faust says other clubs across the country have taken notice of the momentum, and organizers say they've spoken with the city of Columbus. He says they will continue to fight until the very end.
In an ideal world, next season won't be our last.
The club's owner did say he was open to keeping the team here in Columbus, but so far no sites have been discussed. In front of Mott Free Stadium, Cierra Johnson, 10TV News. Tonight, the Dublin City School Board unanimously passed a revised version of the anti-harassment policy, a policy the district superintendent is calling, quote, one of the most specific and robust in Central Ohio. The policy, which sets guidelines for defining and addressing cases of harassment, was modified following the June arrest of former Dublin Scioto High School girls track coach and teacher Gregory Lee.
There are just bad people in this world that look to do terrible things for kids.
Dublin City School Superintendent Todd Hoadley says it was important to make changes to the district's 19-page anti-harassment policy in light of the situation that played out at the Dublin High School.
So these policies are another step in our efforts to make sure that our students are always safe while attending Dublin schools.
The policy also makes counseling available to any person who may have been a victim of harassment in the district.
Revisions really bringing clarity to our policies around what constitutes harassment.
Like no one should be held above the law. regardless of whether they're a teacher, maybe some other figure of authority. So I think it was great to see that they were held accountable for what they did.
And the district superintendent says this revised version of the anti-harassment policy goes into effect immediately, and each employee in this district will receive a new copy. In Dublin, Cierra Johnson, 10 TV News.